Hello, everybody out there in Facebook land, TikTok world, YouTube, Instagram, all those good places that we're going to be seen later on. Some places will have a recording, some places will have the live, which is right here. But welcome to the broadcast booth, everybody. I am Monty Anderson, your host here at 412 Productions, the art of Monty Anderson, and welcome to the show. Hopefully, all are doing good out there for what is today? Is today Tuesday? Tuesday the 28th out there. Um, we'll be getting into the title of my show, which is called If You Want to Know. I couldn't put the rest of it in there because it's just too long. If you want to know, watch the show. Because we'll get into what it's about here in a little bit. So, but first off, sad news in the comic book world because that's what we do here. We talk about comic books, we talk about comic book artwork, we talk about my artwork, we talk about my comic book artwork, we talk about horror movies, sci-fi movies, all of that good stuff. And there you go. But breaking news as of yesterday, comics legend, great creator, artist, writer, all of that good stuff. Jerry Conway has passed away at 73. He fashioned a whole lot of characters out there, but he is gone now, unfortunately. So get those comic books ready. They'll be worth some money. There you go. So, got a lot of commissions that I'm working on right now. I'm working on 3 commissions currently, with some more on the way. I've already been contacted by a few people uh, since I've been working on these other 2. I'm working on the next book cover to the novel, to the Sour Worlds book. And so I'm working on that cover. And then I'm working on the massive God of War 18 by 24 piece. Yep. And then I'm working on another John Wayne piece that is a going to be about 2 foot long, so 24 inches by roughly, not sure yet, because I got to take into account the wooden frame and all that good stuff that's going to go with it. So there you go. So we are working on quite a few commissions right now, with another one sitting in the wings. So looking forward to that as well. And this one's turning out pretty interesting for the next book cover for Sour Worlds. And if you haven't gotten the first one, you can. Out there. All right, so I'm just looking to see if there's anything else I need to talk about other than what we're getting ready to talk about. So, um, oh yeah, and if Roy was here, his favorite team, the Oklahoma City Thunder, just did a big sweep of the Suns, and so that was good. So, hey, what up, Dennis? Welcome to the show. Well, we've been hit pretty good by some of them. We got some more moving in today. Uh, Later on today, we have some roughly about 6 a.m. for a short bit, and then they drop off, and then they come back at from 9 to 9. So 12 hours we're supposed to be under thunderstorms. So there you go. Um, Looking forward to that. It keeps the garden going. So how are you doing out there, Dennis? You doing good? Hopefully you are. Hopefully we'll get some more of the regulars up in here. Up in here. I know Roy was active a little while ago, and then um, Casey may or may not hit the show. He's been feeling a little under the weather. So, I got you. But you survived, right? Obviously, or you wouldn't be here texting us unless you're texting us from the other side. And if you are from the other side, what's it like over there? I did go ahead and put up another cat ball on Maribel up there. Let me pinpoint her right there, right there. So if it does go off, just let me know because I might not be actually watching it at the time. So don't forget to like, share, and follow as you get here. That helps us out in case we do get a live restriction, which we apparently get more often than most anybody else on live broadcast. Seems like every show I get a live violation for something. And it's ridiculous. So, yeah, there's that. Yeah, I noticed I had a small little puncture in one of my canvases just the other day, or just yesterday. Let's see here. Yes, a few inches never passed anyone. Well, good. We're glad you didn't pass away. Um, but if you did and you were talking to us from the other side, I would like to know what it's like over there. You and that's for anybody, not just you, Dennis. I'm not. We don't wish that upon anybody here, like some people do. And not talking about you, but other people. That sorcerer. There you go. Have a great day. Much appreciated. Thank you for the likes out there. It's always appreciated. That does help us get into the popular live category because we're not, a huge popular show over here, and that's okay. You know, before they changed their algorithms, I was getting anywhere between 3 to 4,000 views on a regular daily basis that I was on my live shows. But ever since they changed their algorithm, I'm lucky to get 3 to 400, you know, views at a time. Now, that's not saying that people don't go back and watch the show later on. Bum, bum, bum. And before we get into the depth that we're going to be, haven't been there yet, but they tell me it's great. Is that Margaritaville or? Oh goodness. Yeah, I've never made it there. I mean, I can't say that. I mean, I potentially have made it there a couple times with my 2 heart attacks, all that good stuff. But if I did, I don't remember anything from the other side. All right, so I follow a couple of comic book, more than a couple. I follow a bunch of comic book pages on Facebook, and there's a few on TikTok that I follow as well. But everybody likes to gripe, and we know this because you can open up a feed to any persons or any whatever you're following on Facebook or friends with on Facebook. Someone's going to argue about something, and I thought it was quite humorous, but it was also quite poetic, if you will, that these that that in this comic book group that this person posted this entire thing, and we're going to get into it in just a second. But that's not the title of the show. This is just something that resonates and should resonate with a lot of people out there, and it's like we all have different opinions. My opinion is going to be different than anybody else's watching the show. Your opinion is going to be different than mine, but we don't have to hate each other over the difference of opinion like so many people do in today's society. And then you've got the giant keyboard warriors out there as well. So, without further ado, we're going to get into this talking point um, that comes with this, and it's as this person writes it down. He says, "I will now solve everyone's pet peeves." And it says, and this basically is based off of comic books and collectibles. So, and that's what we talk about here. So it's relevant. It says, "Don't like variant covers? Don't buy them. Don't like signatures? Don't get them. Don't like graded books? Don't buy a graded book. Like signatures on the inside instead of the outside? Get them on the inside. Don't like a movie casting choice? Don't go see the movie. Think somebody should open up a graded book or get a book graded? Keep it to yourself. Buy your own copy and do whatever you see fit." Think somebody wasted their money? Not your book, not your money, not your problem. Think somebody is overpaying or over asking? Not your money, not your problem. Want a comic, but I feel like everyone is over asking price wise? Wait it out or move on. Think something is a waste of money? Don't buy it. Don't care about something someone just acquired? Keep scrolling. Don't like a particular artist or writer that somebody else is excited about? Did I ever work fit? Work what? Keep scrolling. Don't like the fact that somebody is charging for a signature or is asking for a lot for their sketches? Don't purchase from that person. Um, did I ever get work from a comic book publisher? Well, that's a tricky situation or a tricky question because yes and no. I am not affiliated with the big three: Marvel, DC, Image, but I've worked and had work done through independent comics, which are professional in their own right. Like Legacy Comics, he produces more titles. Patrick Hickey Jr. produces more titles than most of the big three do on a regular basis. Um, and that's Legacy Comics, COMIX out there, and and then William Russell, he's getting a few more of his own titles under his belt, which I've worked on Psycho Sal, which was the first one I worked on for him. So yes and no. I'm not with the big publishers, but I'm with independent publishers. Don't like a particular grading company? There are plenty to choose from. Don't like restoration? Don't restore and don't purchase restored books. Don't trust verified books? Don't buy them. Like he says, am I missing something? Feel free to add if he has. Um, and it says, seriously, some of you guys need to grow up and realize other people like things that you don't, meaning different opinions on certain situations and certain items. And like he says, we all just are collecting and enjoying the hobby. Don't put people down. It makes you look like an asshole. And that's good points because every day we see stuff on social media that we don't agree with. Now, you get people out there that are like, oh, well, I have to voice my opinion on what they just posted. No, you don't. If you don't agree with what they're saying, you can scroll on past. I do it all the time. I've got friends that I will never agree with what they're posting ever. And do I stop and put my opinion in there? Absolutely not. I keep on scrolling by. It's like all the people that jump on here and call me, different people's names, like Bonaducci, and there's been a few others out there as well. Just like the one that popped in earlier today. Oh, look, it's the son of Bonaducci. And it's just like, good. Glad you got that dig in. Doesn't hurt me. Doesn't hurt my feelings because I've heard them all so far. There's not one that I haven't heard yet. So it's just like, why do you feel it's important to voice your opinion on someone else's post? Because sometimes in the end, it does make you look like an asshole. I mean, that's just bottom line. Yes, Batman Cup. Because I'm Batman. And you don't always need to respond to something you see on somebody's post or live shows or whatever. Because you just get those that just want to try and disrupt different things. And, that's where everybody has a different opinion on things. And that's what makes the world great, is that we can have varying opinions. And welcome to the broadcast booth, everybody. Again, I am Monty Anderson, your host here at 412 Productions, the art of Monty Anderson. And we just like to have fun here. But you get those people that want to come on here and try to disrupt things, or, just in the world in general. And like I said, there's a lot of people that I'm friends with that I don't agree anything with their posts, and I don't go voice my opinion on their page. Period. I just scroll on by because hey, there's other posts to look at. Or most of the time, my nose is in a piece of artwork over here, like it is right now. Not this particular moment, but Dennis says, as you probably remember, I'm a sports card guy, but I don't own any graded cards. Yeah, I get that. I've got a few graded cards, I think. Maybe. I used to. But most of mine are raw as well. I've got a whole box sitting right down here of ungraded cards. And that's fine, because not everybody likes their cards encapsulated, you know. Now, if mine are encapsulated, it is generally me encapsulating them, not going and getting them graded or anything like that. But, like, even though he's not on our team anymore, I've got a Micah Parsons autograph card sitting over here on a wall shelf, and it is encapsulated. I had to make sure it was the screw down type, instead of just the magnetic clip together type. So I've got quite a few cards that are just raw. I've got binders worth of cards as well. That is including a bunch of old sets. Everything's getting graded nowadays, and I'll talk about that here in a second. But comic books are graded, but how can they really do it? There are potentially pages missing, or what people do, written or marked on. When it comes to that, people send them into what's called CGC or CBCS. It'd be like right here, CGC Universal Grade, right here. The person goes and flips through the entire book, making sure that there's no marked pages, no ripped pages on the inside, things of that nature. I only have 2 slabbed comics in my possession. This one and the very first comic book for the Uncanny X-Men that I've ever read, sitting right over there, 9.2, and this is a 9.6. Um, so a grader, someone that has been supposedly trained to look over things, looks at all of the defects, if there are any, no matter what kind of comic book it is, sharp corners, any missing pages, all that good stuff, rips on the front, rips on the back, any spine ticks going down the edge over here, that means it's been bent or pulled down or something like that while it was sitting on the shelf. Um, and this one has none of those. Still has sharp corners, so I don't know why it came out with a 9.6, but um, it doesn't give me that explanation of why they give it a 9.6. But ultimately, that's what you're looking for. And if it's written on, if it's a key issue and it's a small piece of writing on it, it doesn't affect the grade because it's the overall grade of the book. Now, if someone took a marker, say this was out of its deal, out of its plastic holder, and I took this marker and just all over this thing like a kid with a crayon, then that would affect it tremendously on the value. And that doesn't even have to be a key book. If someone were to get a book graded and there was some writing on it, it doesn't affect that grade of the book because they will take off just a hair for that, but it's not going to knock it down like it would if it had a rip in it or if it had a bunch of folds in it and things like that. Now you might get it at a 1.2 with that bunch of writing all over the cover, if you were to get that one graded, and I don't know why you would, but some people do. I've seen some pretty rough shaped books that people have gotten graded. Hold on just a second. I gotta put this back so it doesn't fall down behind my desk. There we go. And it's like some books I wouldn't even get graded, period. A lot of people are unhappy with CGC anyway, when it comes down to it, because there have been some thievery going on, if you will, and since they know how to do it properly, they can do it. Um, there has been issues with people in the industry of CGC that have taken great covers off of a book, taken the better interior pages from the same book that someone else brought in, and put them back together and made it a higher grade than what it should have been from the two separate books themselves. I know coins get graded in cards due to some cards have been counterfeited, but who would forge comics? A lot of people. There's a lot of forgers in comics. You can find true facsimiles that aren't done by the printing company or DC or Marvel or Image and things like that. You can find the bootleg comics out there. But when it comes to grading, everything's getting graded nowadays. Not just coins, not just currency, not just comic books, not just cards. VHS tapes are now getting graded. 8 tracks are getting graded. Cassette tapes are getting graded. Vinyl is even getting graded right now. And I made it. Someone actually brought up this point in one of our groups that I follow, and I brought that up, and I was like, "Hey, I've got some graded toenail clippings if anybody's interested." Just throwing light on the subject because it seems like everything is getting graded nowadays. Yes, action figures, absolutely. Hot Wheels, um, you name it. If it can be graded, they're going to get it graded. I'm not going to say what just popped into my head, but it has to do with the adult industry. I'm sure some of those things are going to start getting graded pretty soon too. Um, and that would be very weird. Hey, mom, why you got that on your mantle? Oh, it belonged to such and such. Okay, mom, cool. But even artwork is getting graded when it comes to people in the industry, meaning not that industry that we just talked about, but the comic book industry. Like McFarlane artwork and any other people's artwork is getting graded as well. But like I said, a lot of people are getting discouraged with CGC with their prices, number one. Um, because, hey, I own the book. Why am I paying so much to get it graded? And that's where that whole list came into play. If you don't like graded books and you think it's too high to get them graded, don't get them graded. You know, and comic books fluctuate so much, just like baseball cards, football cards, all that stuff. Unfortunately, unless it's a specific baseball card, meaning some of the new stuff with all the fancy stuff on it and all that good stuff, the baseball cards are worth 10 cents a piece. Even old stuff from the 60s, 70s, 80s. It has to be specific cards from specific players, and that's with anything. It's just like the first appearance of in a comic book, or the rookie card of a football player or a baseball player that has done like Judge. Is that his name? Aaron Judge from the Yankees. His I know his rookie card shot up pretty good for a hot minute, but I don't know if it's still worth anything now or not. But just like Michael Jordan rookie cards, astronomical pricing. If you have one of those, you're lucky. Um, so today's title is "If You Want to Know, Watch the Show." like I've talked about plenty of times, my show usually gets into the topic, sometimes right off the bat. Sometimes it's where we're at 30-minute mark into the show. Oops, I need to put something up over here. Sorry, my bad. My bad, guys over there. I'm sorry. Am I recording? All right, so um, I've got a friend that every time they see a topic of mine pop up, immediately they hit me up. What does this mean? What is this? What are you talking about here? And like I said prior to, you're a grown ass adult. Either jump on a live or watch the video. And they proceeded to tell me, oh, I don't watch videos. Excuse me? I know for a fucking fact you watch videos. You just don't watch my videos. You want me to spoon feed you all the information. And so I sent them a 1 minute and 6 second clip. And they were like, you don't have to send it because I'm not going to watch it, no matter what it's about. And I'm like, it literally is answering your question about what you're talking to me about, that you're getting butthurt about because I'm not spoon feeding you the information from my show. When when you've had 2 days to go watch the fucking show, or even fast forward to where this clip starts on what I'm talking about. And so that just chaps my hide that people want to be spoon fed information instead of going to the source material that you read the highlighted name of from the video clip and watch the video. I get some people that watch the entire hour plus video, and kudos to them. My girlfriend doesn't even watch my videos. She will like them or put a heart on them or whatever, but I know for a fact she doesn't watch my videos. And so for the ones that do go back and watch the full video, the full live version, the full hour plus, kudos to you guys. And I know who you are because there's this little thing called analytics that lets me know who sees and who, does everything. Um, and so it just kind of pisses me off that you just want to be spoon fed all the information from a show when I gave you the show in 1 minute and 6 seconds. Watch the damn video. You'll know what the show is about. Because they've hit me up 3 different times on 3 different topics that I've done here recently. It's been basically the last 3 shows. And this is going to piss them off a little bit because I am going to put, if you want to know, watch the show, like it shows here. If you want to know, that's going to be the title that goes on the next one. And it's like, when did grown ass adults become babies? I mean, seriously, can someone explain that to me? Because it's like if you don't get your way, you pout about it. If you don't get your way, you throw a little hissy fit about it. If you don't get your way and you're not getting fed fast enough, you get butt hurt. And it just makes no sense to me. You're a fucking grown ass 30 something year old adult, but yet you act like you're 10 or 8. It just drives me nuts. And I see it every fucking day. You know, everybody and anybody can spend a minute to invest. Absolutely. Hello, love. Welcome to the broadcast booth. And you're right, Dennis, but they don't. And good morning. I know you're getting ready to jet out to work, and I hope you have a fine day at work, and that you don't hurt anybody, since they're going to be rubbernecking off of your videos, and they're going to get whiplash. You're awesome. You're awesome, Tammy. Thank you for being a part of our world. And no, I'm not going to sing the Ariel shit. You know, I'm. I mean, I'm a Disney fan to a point because my kids grew up on Disney, but whatever. I'm not a fanatic like some people, you know, and that's okay. And that's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. I think our education system may be part. I mean, a lot of things are to blame. This whole soft parenting bullshit, the whole taking corporal punishment out of schools, um, kids having the power to call child protective services. I mean, there's it's been factor after factor. Everything after the '90s just kind of went downhill. And let's just be real. Like I've talked about plenty of times, and I know Dennis, you haven't been on some of those shows, but and that's okay. It's it boils down to, if this generation right here right now were to be thrown anywhere between the 1920s and the early 1990s up to like 94, 95, they would not survive. Period. They would not survive. Period. And I guarantee they wouldn't, because they're not that resourceful. They want everything handed to them on a silver platter. And the sad part about the person I'm talking about is that they're not even of this generation. Excuse me. But yet they still want to be spoon fed my entire show. And I gave them a clip, like I said, Tammy, 1 minute and 6 seconds to describe my entire show in 1 minute and 6 seconds. I gave them a video clip from my show, pulled it from my show, and I sent it to them. And they're like, no, I don't watch videos. Okay, okay, that's your choice. You know, I know for a fact you watch videos because you used to tell me about all the videos you used to watch on a regular basis. So let me get this straight. You're a Christian, but now you're lying about. Well, I went to Catholic grade school in the '70s, and let me tell you, the nuns were vicious. Yeah, I mean, do you still have the scars on your knuckles, as many kids ended up with from that ruler going across their knuckles? And here's the analogy I gave this person. I told them, so you're telling me you're not going to watch a video clip that literally spells out my entire show in 1 minute and 6 seconds. And I said, that's kind of like going to church for the donuts. Good morning, Ballerina. Welcome to the show. I said, that's literally like going to church for the donuts and telling the pastor, I don't like the sermons. Make it make sense, people. Make it make sense. Because I gave you my video clip of 1 minute and 6 seconds that describes my show that you're asking about, but you're not going to watch that 1 minute and 6 second video clip to get the information you're trying to get me to spoon feed you with. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's why I was asking if you still had the scars on your knuckles. So, much appreciated for all of the likes coming through. It's always great to see that. And, and she's shaking her head already. Yeah, yeah, because I've got a friend, and I'll just use that loosely, acquaintance more or less, that wants to be spoon fed all the information. They see my titles of my videos as they scroll Facebook or wherever they're catching them at, and they're going, "Hey, what are you talking about here? What do you mean here?" It's just like, no, you're a fucking grown ass adult. Do the legwork. I'm not spoon feeding you anymore. You know, and because it all started with the one where I was posting about my mother's ceiling collapse and how I was disappointed in um, a lot of things whenever I was asking for help for her. And it was like, well, she, this person, I was gonna say my mother was very grateful for the people that did help, and this other person that was wanting all the information fed to them, and I told them, and I did give them a synopsis of what I was talking about on that show, and they were like, "Well, people just can't do that. I can't do that." And I said, "Here's the deal: people can, they just won't." Now, if it's an OF model that's saying I'm getting ready to get evicted out of my house or whatever, and you can get this from me and all this stuff, and people open up their wallets and just start dropping money. I was offering artwork at a discount rate. My dad and mom were both born in big families during the depressions, and they survived it. I wonder how. By working, by wanting to do the work, because they knew food had to be on the table. Depending on where they grew up and all that stuff, they potentially had a garden, maybe. Um, because I know that's how my grandparents survived during the Great Depression. They had gardens, they had things of that nature. Um, and then they became a little bit of hoarders thereafter, uh, just because they didn't want to be without in case there was another depression again. Um, and we've seen some depressions and things like that, but we haven't seen great depressions. You know, we get where the cost of living doesn't match the payouts to, you know, just surviving a day. You know, I mean, hell, we went to get just what we call chopped sandwiches, and just on the meat, the cheese, the vegetables, three little bags of stuff. It was basically $10 a bag, so 30 some odd bucks was where it boiled down to. See, and that hen gave them eggs. That egg fed the family. After a couple days, you get a couple scrambled eggs out of that chicken and that hen, and you know, it was providing back to the family. And that's like here on my homestead. We have eggs on a daily basis if we wanted them. The girlfriend doesn't so much like eggs anymore, but um, since she saw the process, so we sell eggs on a regular basis. Um, but yeah, I mean, during the Great Depression, though, that was again completely different time, completely different era, and they literally had to fight tooth and nail for what they were getting in that time. And this generation just don't doesn't and would never get it. And again, if they were put in that time period at this at from just let's just take them, displace them from now, and put them in that time period right now, right here, right now, guaranteed, done for. Number one, they don't have Tide Pods back then. They had metal milk crates back then instead of the plastics. Um, let's see, they would have just got straight up. See, I can't even say that because I'll get a violation. I've already had one this week. um, the song that who is it from? I can't remember who it's from, but the song goes basically that it just shows you've never been hit in the mouth. And basically, that's what would happen to this generation if they got put back in, the 1920s, the 1910s, 1920s, 1930s. You know, my dad had 9 brothers and a sister. And if you crossed one, watch out. Absolutely. Absolutely. Because family was bond back then. And nowadays, that's not the way it is. And you see it all the time. And I get it to a point, because if you do have an abusive parent, it's best to get away from them completely. If you have, other troubles going on in the home, by all means, you have every right to distance yourself from that family, from the one that is doing what they're doing to you, all that good stuff. You have every right to report what's happening as well. But if you're in a good, loving family and you're just a dick, and oh well, they didn't get me a PlayStation, well, I'm going to report them for something. That's just you being a dick, and that wouldn't fly when I grew up. And so it's just like, I just don't get this generation. Period. They are some of the softest generation I've ever seen in my entire life. And what started the whole topic of, if you want to know, watch the show. They're not even of this generation, like I said, but yet they still want to be spoon fed every little piece of nugget from the show. And I pulled that video clip, and I thought it was great, because in that 1 minute and 6 seconds, it describes my entire show that they're asking about. But yeah, I don't watch videos, so I'm not gonna watch the video. Okay, then you're not gonna know what the show's about. You can ask till you're blue in the face, but I'm not gonna tell you. I'm not gonna put it on a spoon and here you go, here comes the choo choo, and it's just like, or the airplane, all that good stuff, like we used to with the kids, you know. And it's like, good God, people, if you want to know, watch the show or come on alive. It's that simple. There's no hidden agendas. There's no this. There's no that. There's no secret conspiracy against you. It's just, I just don't understand. Just don't understand why everybody wants to be spoon fed every little thing. When, again, all you gotta do is watch a simple video, and it sums up the entire thing in one simple little video that I sent to them. So it's kind of crazy. Kind of crazy, man. But like we've talked about so far, Jerry Conway, great, excuse me, comic book guy. I've been up since one something. Sorry, guys. Great comic book creator, has passed away yesterday, at the age of 70. I don't know if I've got any of his stuff. I might. I could be wrong, but I don't know if I've got any of his autographs anywhere. I'm gonna have to go look at my Dallas comic, or Comic Con. Dallas Fantasy Fair is what it was called at the time, to see, because I think he was one of the guests there. I could be wrong. That was back in the early 90s, 96, I believe. And I want to say he was one of the people I got autographs from, but I'm not 100% sure. It's not going anywhere if I did, but um, like a lot of people are already starting to dump their comic books that, oh, well, he died, so they're going to be worth a lot more. Certain stories will, yes, absolutely. But when it comes to everything, no, not everything. Now, the first Firestorm could become, more popular, with his passing. And then, of course, all the Punisher stuff that he helped co create. And when it came out in the Marvel Spotlight, all that good stuff. Oh, Lord. The Punisher has Spider-Man. That's a different Conway, but he did do some Batman stuff. Yes, uh, because there was a voice actor that was Conway as well. I believe that was his last name. That voiced Batman had passed away several years ago. Jerry Conway, right here. Where did I put it? Oh, there it is. This is him. He did create Jason Todd right there. He wrote The Night Gwen Stacy Died, created Ben Riley, Firestorm, The Punisher, co created, and Jason Todd, who turns out to be Hush later on in the Batman series. Sorry to spoil it for anybody that didn't know that. And this is after Jason Todd supposedly passed away in A Death in the Family. Um, and so he comes back as Hush later on. But yes, Jerry Conway did work on some Batman stuff. Uh, I don't know how in depth he was in the Batman world, but if he created, Jason Todd, he was in there for a bit. So yes, you are correct, Dennis. You are correct. But there was a voice actor, and I do want to say his name was Conway as well. I could be wrong on that, but he did pass away too, not too long ago, probably about several months back, I think, or was it years? Probably years. I don't know. I can't remember. I just remember that Mark Hamill said that he would not play the Joker on the animated series anymore due to that actor passing away as the Batman voice. So there is that. There is that note. Let's see here. But yeah, when it comes to graded stuff, oh, Tim Conway, that's him. Not was it Tim? See, I'd have to go look. I can't. I knew it at one point in time, and it's blank to me right now. But graded stuff is getting ridiculous because everything, like I said, is getting graded in some form, fashion, or another. Good grief! Oh, sorry, sorry, folks. And it's just kind of getting ridiculous with all the grading stuff because even if you were to buy graded stuff from, say, Walmart, because they do graded stuff every now and again, it's not a card you really want. Yes, Tim Conway was definitely Carol Burnett. Um, but it was something like that. And I'd have to go look again just to see. But Walmart does do graded cards, but they're not cards that you want. They do Pokemon cards that are graded, they do basketball cards that are graded, they do football cards that are graded, baseball cards that are graded, some other cards that are graded too. But again, the stuff you pull is not worth what you paid for getting this pack of cards, and you only getting one graded card out of the pack, and no other cards. Um, and so, but people are so enthralled with it that that it's become its own subculture, if you will. And again, everything is starting to get graded now, and it's just like, well, pretty soon, you know, Jason Hawes, paranormal equipment is going to get graded, at some point in time. And it's just like, when is it going to stop? And it's not. What's going to happen is everything's going to get encapsulated in plastic, and when the aliens do come to visit us, they're going to find humans in plastic as well, with a grading symbol on them. Oh, this one's a little rough around the edges, but we can give it a 5.5. And that's the sad truth is that, pretty soon we're going to be graded, you know, not just on our character, but on our bodies. I give this one a 2.3. That one I can give a 4.2, so on and so forth. And it's just like, there does come a point when things need to stop. Somebody got filtered out there. I don't know who you were or what you said, but you got filtered. They're trying to protect the innocence of the crew here, but we're not innocent here. We say motherfucker all the time, and all kinds of other stuff, and we talk about some crazy off the wall topics as well. But so if it was you that wrote whatever you wrote, just rewrite it in a nicer way, I guess, for TikTok. Um, since TikTok is a sensitive little, you know, you know what they are. Although they let other things through, and on my show, it seems like things get filtered or a violation or restriction or whatever. So, and that's fine. I'm not going to sugarcoat shit here. You know, because there's no sense in that. The world is sugarcoated enough. And no, I'm of a generation that I don't give a shit. I mean, really. And don't care. You know, if they want to give me violation after violation or restriction after restriction on my show, cool. Let them do it. I'll just go over to Instagram, you know, where I don't get violations or restrictions on my own damn live shows. And generally, whenever I do get a restriction, it is because their AI feels that I was trying to redirect people, you know, from the TikTok shop. So, which has never been the case. But their AI wisdom knows best because AI is the all ending of everything, right? No, AI sucks, is what it boils down to. But yet, everybody wants to do AI bullshit. And not here. That's why I still hand draw stuff, you know, and hand paint items because that's what we do here. We do artwork here. We talk about comic books, comic book artwork, horror movies, sci fi movies, thrillers. Not so much dramas, but thrillers. Um, any off the wall movies you can think of. And then obviously, like I said, comic books, my artwork, my comic book artwork, different things like that. Plus the multiple commissions that I'm working on right now. 3, 4 commissions right now that I'm working on all at the same time. So that makes a fun day, 100%. And like I said, I'm working on the next novel cover right now for a friend of mine, James Bishop, and his book, Sour Worlds. And I am on book 2 right now, working on that. Soon to be book 3 and potentially book 4 once we get there. I've also got some interior stuff for his book as well, uh, for some other pages and things of that nature. So that is always fun and exciting when you get those opportunities like that to be on a book. You know, I would show you the book right now, but I would get a restriction. And who cares? We got about 5 minutes left, right? But this is the book in question right here. This was my cover to the first book. This is my painting on the cover there. This is Sour Worlds right here. Calamities by James Bishop. So, yes, I am a published artist. multiple times over, actually, from comic books on professional independent comic books, and then in the world on novels and things of that nature. I've actually been a published artist for a while now. When I was hot and heavy in church, um, I had authors and things like that that wanted my artwork for their book covers and things like that. So I've already been a published artist for a while. No, 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 it's not offensive. It just AI feels like I'm trying to redirect people outside of TikTok to go buy the book since it's not sold here on TikTok Shop. And that's the problem with artwork like mine right here. The only place you can get it is through me, not through TikTok. And TikTok doesn't like that because they're not getting their cut. So, but no, I have literally censored out certain covers of, when I draw a comic book cover. I was looking to see if I had that one next to me, but I don't. No, I don't have her here. But on my X Men comic, I've got uh, Emma Frost drawn on it, but I've got some other ones drawn on. Uh, let's see, Chun Li from Street Fighter on a Street Fighter comic book. I did a blank sketch cover I drew on it, and she's covered multiple ways. She's got a tiny teeny bikini on, and then she's holding her breast, her boobs, so you're not seeing anything. I've held that cover up 2 different times, and I get a restriction because I am violating their nudity clause on TikTok. But yet, I scroll TikTok and I see women out there that are more scantily dressed than the artwork that I'm holding up, literally holding up a piece of artwork. And their shows are okay and continue on. So it makes no sense how their AI translates everything, if that makes sense. Good morning, Casey. Welcome to the show. And it's like, and it's happened twice that I've been put on restriction for that cover, and it's censored out completely. It's got blue tape on everything that would be offensive to some people, to some viewers. And what up there, Crump? Welcome to the show. Thank you for the likes, the shares, and the follows here. And so I just don't understand how their AI determines everything when it comes down to it. Because a piece of artwork that is completely censored is offensive, but yet someone that's basically dressed the same way onto there's the thing. They're drawing in more money than I am. They are bringing in more views and more comments than I am. That's how they're getting away with being half naked on Instagram or TikTok and doing what they're doing. Absolutely. Absolutely. And like I've talked about many, many times, is that you can literally show your butthole on here and it's okay for TikTok. And if they get reported, it doesn't go against their policy. And it just makes no sense to me on their double standards, if you will. Because if it's okay for this group of people to do it, why isn't it okay for this group of people to do it? Oh, what am I talking about? It boils down to the money. It boils down to the money because we're not drawing in the money and the revenue like all these other creators are. And how are they doing it? Oh, they're half naked. I'm so sorry. I guess I'm going to have to start wearing my Speedo. I've been threatening that for the past couple shows. but I guess it's about time to break it out. It is getting hot down here in the South, down here in Arkansas. I'm not from here. I just live here. So, there you go. Yeah, and AI. Here's the AI summary: discussing art and censorship rules on social media. Share your thoughts. Well, how about you share your thoughts with us, TikTok AI, because I want to know how my censored picture gets a restriction and these others do not. Make it make sense, AI. Make it make sense. Another reason I hate AI, 100%. I saw a creator, he's an artist out there as well, who says, who was like, if you send me a friend request and I see anywhere on your page anything AI generated, or you have, I am an AI generated or AI artist, I am not accepting your friend request, period. And I like that. And I'm going to be looking at people's pages as well. Yeah, I no way trust AI. Anyway, anyhow. Terminator, absolutely. I mean, he tried to warn us a long time ago, but nobody listened then either. But now everybody wants to be this AI keyboard warrior, and oh, my artwork is much better than yours because I typed it out and I put it through this app. Well, congratulations there, Skippy. You did absolutely nothing. While I've spent 10 days, a month on one painting. Blood, sweat, and tears, man. Blood, sweat, and tears. Oh, I created a whole video in 5 minutes. Well, congratulations there, Skippy. It's still taking them the rest of the month to film it. I do have a buddy that I I just can't. I mean, I respect him as a person. Let's go that route. Let's go that route. They call AI bots for a bad. Absolutely. But yet, this is a guy that went from the traditional role of using artists to create his characters for him to now doing everything via AI, including videos of his characters coming to life, blah, blah, blah. It's just like, I can't respect that. I can't respect that aspect of you going against all of your buds, basically, that can help you with character design, or you get a character design via AI and then they can create from there. Get a base for your character and then we can create from there. But now he's getting ready to start hitting comic book conventions, and I told him, you need to be honest 100% that you're an AI artist. And this is how your characters are coming to life, is that you're using AI. Now is he going to do that? I have no idea. Because most comic book conventions now are dumping AI artists 100%. If they find out that you have anything AI created, they kick you out, even if you paid. Deposit is done. You're done. You don't have any money coming back to you. You just lost all that money because you weren't upfront and honest with them. And he's also wanting to start a comic book convention that has both traditional and AI artists side by side. Yeah, I mean that's about the only thing it's being used for anymore. Um, but AI was created for a purpose back in the day, and that was to help in the medical field in a sense. And I'm okay with it helping in the medical field. If it can detect cancer early so somebody can get treatment, so be it. If it can detect some other disease in the body, let it. But it has no business out here on our computers, on our phones, watching us through our TVs, whatever else it's all doing. Because anytime I see AI pop up on my stuff, I go and turn it off. Don't want it. Don't use it. Don't like it. That's why I don't use the brand new Adobe Illustrator stuff or Adobe products, period. They have AI technology incorporated in with them. I'm still using CS4. You know how many generations ago that was? It's still on disk, not on the cloud. I'm looking over at my other computer. So just because everything's on the cloud now, you have to have a subscription fee for everything now. I've heard that anything bought in 2027, vehicle wise, is going to have a shutoff valve. Meaning the car thinks you're a danger or you look like you're too impaired to drive, be it rage or impaired with something else, your car will not shift into gear. Ford has that right now, I think. And then other vehicles are going to be equipped with shut off technology that if you are perceived as a threat or a danger, the car will shut off in any form, fashion, or another. And then, not to mention the subscriptions you have to have for your car. Because I heard one person talking about in coming up in vehicles in 2027, you're going to have subscriptions for different things in your car, like heated seats, heated mirrors, heated and cooled seats, and things like that. And if you don't have your subscription, you don't get those features in a car that's got them. Make that make sense. I just spent 80 grand on a car, which is a house payment or a house in for some people. But now I have to put a subscription on top of that to get the amenities that come with the car. And if I don't pay that subscription price, all those amenities and accessories get shut off. Make that make sense. You just gouged me for 80 grand, but now I'm having to pay 15, 20 bucks per item in the car for a subscription. Not to mention if it's a Sirius radio, make it make sense. Yes, yes, that's fine in military applications as well. That's totally fine. Medical and military, I'm cool with. But when it comes to all the other stuff, it's just running too rampant. I mean, you're seeing video after video as you're scrolling Facebook or TikTok that is nothing but AI generated. I mean, you've got tons of AI generated women out there as well. There could be men out there too. I don't know. That's not on my feed. Sorry. Now weightlifters are on my feed and things like that, uh, but Bigfoot's on my feed. Absolutely AI generated stuff, um, and it just goes on and on. Well, absolutely, and everybody's going to get their money some form, fashion, or another. But I've heard that what is it, Toyota? The girlfriend was telling me about this one. I think it's Toyota is coming out with a base model vehicle that still has some good amenities to it, but it's going to be something like $27,000. That still sounds pretty high, but compared to 80 or $90,000 vehicle, 27 doesn't sound too bad, you know, especially for a truck. So kudos to them for getting down to an affordability model of vehicles, you know. So, but yeah, no, AI just isn't worth it, in my opinion. But everybody's doing it, and we all hate to hear, well, it's here to stay, so you might as well. No, you might as well not. You might as well not. I used to have a sign on my table or behind me that says no AI generated artwork here. If that offends you, move along. Because I do know that there's people out there that that's all they're looking for is the AI generated bullshit. And unfortunately, people out there do get called AI generated artists, even though they're not, because of their painting style or their art style or whatever. Now, there is one guy out there that I'm still questioning, and you know who I'm talking about, Casey. You went and looked at his page. To go from this style of artwork and then flip it 180 degrees to this style of artwork overnight, literally overnight, something's fishy there. Because you go from this mediocre side to this well polished side just at the drop of a hat, just like that. No, 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 no. I'm thinking there's some AI generated pages getting printed out that he's just coloring up, calling it his work. But I could be wrong, could be 100% wrong, but nobody changes their style that fast, just overnight. That's a few years process, if you will. But that's not my place. Just like I talked about that whole list of, you can scroll on if you don't like what's being discussed. If you see a post that you don't agree with, keep scrolling. If you see a live show that you don't agree with, keep scrolling. And that's not what today's topic is about, because today's topic was about, if you want to know, watch the show. And it's just like everything we've talked about today is relevant to you know who I'm talking about, Casey, because like I said, I sent you his information and you went and looked him up. So, but yeah, no, is it contact high maybe, but there's no there's no fucking way. Let's just be real. There's no fucking way that his style changed that dramatically overnight. Let's just be honest. Let's get down to business. No, we're not doing Mulan. So sorry. Um, but yeah, no. That's whenever you see somebody's style change that dramatically, and I've only seen it happen one time, and that's the example that I sent you. Absolutely, absolutely. It's like he did a whole crash course in 30 seconds, and then, oh look, on December of 2025, this is how my artwork looked. January of 2026, boom, completely different. I mean, literally night and day difference. And there's only one explanation for it. You've got an AI program, you're typing in what you want, it draws what you want, it spits it out on the paper that you want, because you've got a fancy little printer, just like I do, those 13 by 19 mini poster sizes. And and now you're printing out your work, and then you're just coloring it up, dropping a little black marker over the top of the ink section so it doesn't look like it was printed out. That's just my opinion. Again, my opinion. That's where my opinion comes in. Oh my goodness. Oh, I'm tired. I'm sorry. Like I said, I've been up since 1:40 ish this morning. So, and and Casey, what you missed was we talked about, you know, uh, the one person that keeps coming at me whenever I put a topic of my videos out there, and they're like, absolutely, AI is the ultimate cheat code, absolutely. And every time I put out one of my titles on my videos, and they see, excuse me, and they see it, they hit me up. Well, what are you talking about here? I literally sent them a 1 minute and 6 second video clip. And they're like, I don't watch videos. Bullshit. I know you watch videos. You've told me how many videos you watched just in general. But yet you don't want to watch the 1 minute and 6 second video clip that sums up my entire show pretty much in that time frame. You just still want me to spoon feed it to you. Ain't happening. Watch the video or watch the live show or fast forward the video to where I talk about what we're talking about. Now, the last two shows, I will have to admit, it's been the 30-minute mark roughly when we hit the topic of the show. But that's okay. Because generally the topic we talk about is right at the beginning of the show, and then we get into all other sorts of stuff later. But this time we've been getting into the other stuff first, and then the topic later. So, but I did send them a 1 minute and 6 second video that described the entire show in a nutshell, and they're like, "I'm not gonna watch it. If you don't want to tell me, that's fine." No, your butt hurt. Your butt hurt that I'm not spoon feeding you like I have in the past. So grow the fuck up, be an adult, watch the 1 minute and 6 second video, and you'll know what my topic is about. Because it started with my mother's videos. This one is Gambit of the X-Men, and not the what's his face, Channing Tatum, who's playing Gambit in the movies now in the MCU. I just can't stand him as a Cajun actor in Deadpool Wolverine movie when they pulled him in. Worst decision, worst choice ever. Just trying to understand what the hell he was saying. I felt like I needed a translator because he was so thick on the Cajun accent. It was horrible. Well, if that's a friends cleaning list, yeah, that's exactly what it's about. As I go through and purge people periodically, um, as a cleaning process, to stay sane, if you will. So let's just be honest. We add people, or they add us, and we never talk to them again on social media. I have almost 5,300 on TikTok right now, which that's a drop in the bucket compared to some creators out there who have, you know, 10,000 plus followers. You know, absolutely got to get rid of the cobwebs. You got to get rid of a lot of things, rodents, bugs, all that good stuff. I've got a serious ant problem going on right now. It's ridiculous. I can't. They won't die. Oh, they just won't quit. They're too legit to quit. But alrighty, folks. I think I'm gonna kill it. I need to go check on the pigs, make sure they're doing okay. And they're outside right now, and it's supposed to be raining here in a minute or two. I think it's supposed to start about 6 o'clock, so I got to go check on them, make sure that they are out of the elements since they don't have a place to sleep per se yet, since I don't have the main coop finished yet. And I love you too, man. I love all of you all here, and don't forget to tell more people, that you love them on a regular basis, because again, tomorrow is not promised. And as I like to say as I leave you guys, as I always do, we will catch you on the flip side. Have a good day, everybody. See you, man.